Welcome. On this channel, I do unscripted, unedited videos about Linux programming and stuff. If you want to learn more about the format on this channel, you can check out video number 1. If you want to learn about the project that I am currently working on, you can check out video number 23. I'm pretty much going to pick up right where I left off in the last video. I have been working on the testing setup on the testing framework, which is here. I'll pop in and I will show what I am talking about. Okay, so I have here. Let's do it this way. The test folder has one test file per module that exists in the source directory. Module is kind of conceptual here. I am writing any individual library as self-contained in a single C header and C file. And so config is a module, and there are config tests. Likewise, game, network, state. And the idea is that, so let's take a look at one of the tests. The idea is that, of course, each of those will, you can run each of those individually. Each of them creates a binary. You can run each of them individually, and then I'll have a make target that will run them all also. But I ran into a bit of a problem. My knowledge of make is weak, it seems, and I couldn't obviously figure out how to, let's see if we can, yeah, the target's right here. I couldn't obviously figure out how to run the same command for each of those files. And I realized, and so I brute forced it, right? So here you see me, so if I run make tests, that will build tree bin. So that builds each of the individual tests, and you of course can run an individual test config. Let's run the config test, right? Or the tests don't do anything at the moment. That'll be the next step. But I can run each of the tests individually, and I have a target make test which runs all the tests. And so, but what I want is I actually want these to build intelligently based on the dependencies. And so I don't actually know how to do this. I was hoping that, I think the right way to do it is an implicit rule, but I kind of wonder if I'm not, actually, I wonder if I could change that. So my files are all named _tests. So I wonder if I could write, I wonder if I can write a an implicit rule that would compile that it would use the same. Okay, so I don't know how to do this, so I'm going to basically cheat here. We're going to go ask an AI to answer this question for us. So let's how do I want to phrase this? An implicit make rule to run the same command on all files on a group of files that has the same extension. Like I'm a junior software engineer. I know Make a little bit better than this, but with limited experience using Make. What do we get? Am I on the right path at all? So I found that I generally seem to like the that I get good answers from Gemini, although it's not all that damn fast. They give me a Pandoc example. That makes sense. Okay, so let's take a read here. What did we get? Oh, yep, painful. Yep, very painful. Yep, I understand. Sorry. I understand. Okay, so what we're going to do is list all the sources. Easy enough. That makes sense. That's what we already do. We're going to do a pattern. We're going to compute the targets with a pattern substitution again. Makes sense. Hold it. What's going on here? And then we're just writing an implicit rule, the magic pattern. Okay, so what I don't know is, okay, I'll find out here. I'll explain what I don't know. So clearly, I'm gonna what I'm gonna do is, oops, what did I just do? I'm gonna start by commenting everything out. And we'll just do this at the top of the file. I know, I mean, we can copy what they're doing right there, right? We can say sources equals wildcard test, like so. Yeah. Okay. So that's technically the source files. And the targets are going to be a path substitution on that. And they are going to be, I never remember how to do these, so we'll go look at what they did. Okay, so we have a path substitution from C to bin no extension, and okay, so now we need an implicit rule. Well, we need a rule for targets. Okay, so the rule that we're going to make for that is tests is going to depend on targets. And the actual action, then I'm just going to start with info okay, I don't actually need any. Do I need a rule? No, because it's going to be in the implicit part. Okay, and so the implicit part is going to be, see, and I don't know if this will work very well. The implicit part is going to be taking the C file. So see, what I'd like to do is have an implicit rule that actually included the directories. So it'd be like, the rule for this is showing me the, so this is the target, and it would be bin slash %. Yeah, that would be it, right? And the other side of it is going to be test slash %, dot C. Is that right? Not sure if I can do that or not. And then what I want to do for now is just let's echo some stuff out. And the things I want to echo are, first we'll get, hold it, it's, I forget. Okay, make. Nothing to be done for tests. Let's info. Does that work? Is that how info works? No. Is that how targets work? Or? Okay. So this is targets, which is bin. That's all correct. Oh, it's because they exist. Bin, let's get rid of bin, and then let's make the bin directory as our first action. Missing separator. Oh. Okay, so that looks like it reran the rule for everyone. That's a good start. And the rule that it ran was, I mean, it has bin config test and it has test config C. That is pretty much exactly what we want. Now we just need to change it to GCC, oops. Well, we'll do CC out. Is that right? No, it's the other way around. Yep, no, that's the target. And then that is the let's remove bin and make tests. Ooh, that was exactly what I wanted. Okay, but now here's the hard part. I want this to depend on more than just those test files. I would really like it to depend on, everything in source. Oops. Right. As well as the makefile itself, right? So, but I don't know. I guess I could do some kind of conditional here. What I'd like to do is just have it end early. So, right, presumably, watch, this is going to blow up because, it's now got those extra files in there. Let's go back and just have it do the echo for a minute. Oops. That is not what I wanted. That is what I wanted. Okay, so for a minute here, we're just going to... Oops. Right. Yep. So we're echoing out, I mean, just what we would do. What I want... okay, so that answers that question. Maybe... clear the chat. So... how I can end a make rule early so that is there a way to, I mean, I probably have to do it conditionally, I'm thinking. Early rule termination, okay, so better term, more correct, I think. You'd think in all the years, I think I've done this before and then just stuck a for loop in there instead of trying to do it as a implicit rule. The implicit rule is definitely better. What we got going on here? Let's scroll up and see what it's blabbing about. What it's yapping about. Okay, so the standard way, let a command fail. I don't need a command to fail. Oh, I guess I could. But I don't want to exit with an error message. Using a shell statement if. So, okay, that was what I thought. I thought I would be doing something conditionally. It still seems like it. Checks if the variable is an empty string. Conditional logic at the make level before the command runs. So I didn't quite catch the difference between these two. So conditional logic at the make. What's the one before here? Using a shell if statement. Oh, literally just doing a shell if statement. So doing a shell command. But I would rather we did it one level higher as conditional logic. And what that looks like is if equal. Okay, so so we just do it as a conditional. That was what I thought. And what that conditional is going to look like is if does so I could do something like, let's say let's say I do this. Let's say we have okay, and this one's going to be just actually, I'm not even going to make that variable. I don't know why I'm messing around. Any file in the source files, tree source is all, yep. And so test targets becomes that. So now I can say, source files, test files, and the make file, right? And then I can do let's take a look here. So what I want to do, so we have if equal. So what I want to test is if the prefix is equal to test, and that's the only time we're going to, if the prefix of the source is text. So the other thing I need to know then is so what is the efficient way to test that a variable is set? I don't want to check if it's set. And I don't want to do C code. And so now we're going to fall back to asking Gemini again. Let it search the internet for me. Yeah, I'm sure I want to clear. How can I write a conditional rule in make that tests if the what are the names for make default variables? So that's the target. I don't think I need to care for what I'm doing. So how can I write a conditional rule in make that tests if a variable starts with a specific string? Yes. I have actually, been quite impressed by the fact that I've never seen Gemini actually hallucinate to me. I use it for the simplest things, and I haven't really I have done prompts to build small programs, but there's just not that much opportunity, I guess, for it to hallucinate is probably really the answer. Okay, the prefix is gonna look for that. If equal filter prefix. Okay, so this is the This block runs if it does not. That block runs if it starts with. And that's exactly what we want. So we should be able to do a else. What is the actual? It is else and end if. Yep. And in this case, prefix is not a variable, and it is just test slash anything. In fact, it can be test slash .c. Is that right? If equal. Oh, right. Well, we'll find out here in a second. And so when it's equal is when I want to do the echo. Otherwise, right. So if I rm rf bin and then make yeah, duh. So the is it the same Bahar? I don't quite follow. I'm gonna have to look filter up, but oh yeah, so oh, I get it. So the filter is filtering that off of this. Is it the same as that? Okay, now I understand. So that is that close. Is that right? Should be. That is the piece I am getting wrong, which is, oh, caret up, not arrow down. Oh, yeah. So I want to rm and make undefined variable sources. Where is sources? Oh, right there. Source. Test files. Okay. Why do I get an undefined variable there? That doesn't make any sense what I just did. Where is it telling me I'm, so makefile line 12, that is this line. Oops. So I'm getting, when I do source, right, I'm getting all the stuff from both, you know, I'm getting all the stuff that's from the source folder as well as everything from the test folder, including the makefile. Just what I would expect, right? Because that's everything that I label as a dependency. So if I do if equals, right, and if I say filter Well, I'm going to say that the second half of this is, does it equal that? And for the front half, I'm going to say foo. And then I'm going to say oh, it's because this must be it's kind of like a compile time runtime thing. That's what's going on. No. Well, they're going to skip it in every case, and so but apparently I can check that value. So filter. Is it filter colon? Oh, I can go back and look at Chrome here. No, it's just filter space something comma something. So if I filter, okay, so the equal part looks like that. And the only thing we're going to do here is we're going to write a filter command that says to filter test slash test slash we're going to filter test slash, okay, so prefix test slash percent, and then the value again. So we're going to filter test slash percent. Hold it. We're going to filter test slash percent, and then the same var. Right? Such a simple little thing, and I'm going to blow like an hour on it. Okay. So I'm doing it for these ones, which are all the source ones. And as there's none, okay, so let's clear. So I'm getting that undefined variable again on 13. Maybe I do have to do this as a shell test. So why is it undefined? Oh, no. Warning, undefined variable. Echo doing it. What is makefile filter? Returns all whitespace separated words in text that do match any of the pattern words, removing any words that do not. So that I'm unsure of. The patterns are written using percent, just like patterns used in pat subs. Okay, so I should let's do it bash conditional if true, if it starts with a Z, true if it's equal to literal matching. So maybe this is just the easier way. So it becomes yeah, I think so. This might just be the easier way. So what is else in... Is it else if? Or is it just else? It is just if that then... Yeah, where's the else? It is just else. So what we actually want to test, though, is test slash, right? And go one further, test slash C. If, so then echo, oh, and then this obviously is that. So I think it is like a kind of like a compile time, runtime kind of issue. So I just want to echo out the name. Of course, could do a one-liner, but oh, it does have to be one line, so okay. This is confusing me, I think. What's going on here? So that's the echo of the command. Syntax error, end of file. Okay, so let's so it's still an issue. Did I miss my semicolon? No, I have my semicolon. What am I got going on here? So unexpected. There we go. I think they're needed, but test of string starts with value. I think the shell. I don't think I'm truly in Bash. Oh, let's actually just ask it. I'm not in my shell. So echo. Yeah, it's just a shell. How to test if a variable starts with a specific string in a POSIX shell. Check whether a string starts with in a POSIX shell. Oh, that's good enough. Only performs, but I can use the case statement. So if case, so what it's saying is if, how the hell, case, the variable in question is that, and in test .c and then it's I feel like I'm starting to really kind of head down a weird trail here for something so expecting Well, let's start with that. Case, blah, 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 in syntax error, word, unexpected, and also let's simplify this to that. Okay, this is, maybe I'll just ask Gemini to solve the whole problem for me, because I'm missing something here. Bin sh syntax, word unexpected, expecting in on line 12. Why is it not getting in? So let's just give it some random. Oh. Is it because can I just make it? The okay, this is getting stupid. It should be more obvious. Let's just craft us a prompt to do it. So let's go back and close those tabs. I don't know why you're stuck open. Let's go back to Google. Okay, so a prompt for this. How would you write a make file rule that only runs the rule if the target, no, if the source starts with a specific string prefix? How would you write a makefile rule that only runs the rule if the source file, if the well, I'm going to run with that and see what it does for me. Might have to reword that a little bit. I don't know why I'm missing this. It's both ways get close, but they don't get the answer. I mean, they don't get me there, at least with me driving. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Okay, what do we get? Method 1, recommended approach using if, equal, and filter. Well, I tried that, damn it. Well, I mean, I tried it because you recommended it. So we're doing a phony rule to process the source. Run if prefixed. So filter, required prefix, source, source. That is skipped. So that is exactly what I tried before, but we will. I mean, it is exactly what it recommended before. It's exactly what I tried before. So let's take that line. And then it's just an else and an end if. Right. We'll use their little bit of example code here. And we'll copy both. And I guess we'll find out if I typoed something before. Now, the thing is I don't have the same variables, so I have to substitute. And the required prefix, is just going to be test. And the source in this case is just I wonder if that's just where my problem is, right? So that's not a defined variable, but oh, so why try to do that? Okay, it's starting to become more clear. This ain't gonna fix it either, though, is it? The problem is filter wants to do work on a variable. Can I pass the name of the variable this way? Let's back up. Okay. My problem is let's go all the way back to where it's just defined as source. Let's remove it. And what I want is to just give it the name of a variable, which I really, because it's a built-in, I'm not sure if it's really a variable. I might have to assign it to a variable. That might be what I have to do. Why do I have a quotes mismatch here? Is it... Let's do this. Okay, so I'm always seeing this as... Okay. And I think it's probably... I don't know why it is, but... Karen. Hold it. So, I want to pass the $sign. I don't think this is right. Okay, so let's, the way I expect it to be more likely to work is let's, source so I define, okay, so when I do that, source ends up being all of them. It's kicking my butt. So it's starting to make a lot of sense, but it's also not working. And not, I mean, okay. So here's the funny thing. Where do I put the the extra dependencies? Well, they probably shouldn't be on the implicit rule. That's almost for sure. So this is intended to be an implicit rule, and what it's saying is if I have a file that is test.c, then it should run this rule. And for now, all I want is for it to tell me that it's doing that, doing a target, right? What just happened? Echo doing blah blah blah. Echo. Not real sure why I'm echoing. Oh, because it's all indented, so it thinks it's the same command. Make clear. Clear, make. Clear, make. Okay, doing test C. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's only doing the specific files. But the problem I have is I want it to trigger even if the other files are there. Oh my god, does it just do nothing silently if there's no target for a rule? Yep. And so, man, did I make this difficult on myself. So if I just do gcc-o, the target, the source, make, cannot open output file. Yeah, that's fine. We don't want to do that there. It's going to do these first. So this has to, well, ideally that would depend on, we can just repeat this one. Okay, so somebody out there on the internet is laughing at me, I'm sure. So that builds those targets. That's all I need to do is to define all of these separately. I don't even want to bother. Oh, I am using test targets. So if I want, let's keep test targets defined. Let's keep test files defined. I don't need source files. I don't need the required prefix. that creates the rule for tests, which is an implicit rule, does that. Okay, so let's get rid of so wow, did I have to do extra work for, type less. Okay, so tests. This is what's getting replaced. So we can drop those in there. I can move things around a little bit later. We'll just do this. I probably want to put, I'm not really sure. Logically in my head, these two things work together, and I want to keep them together. But I probably should structure it something like implicit rules. Well, I don't know how I should structure it, to tell you the truth. But what I think I have right now is that builds the tests. Oh, now I need one more rule that finds all of the, so now I need a rule called test that is going to find all of the wildcard bin anything test files. And then it's simply going to execute. Okay, so this has to work. This one I want a for each kind of approach. So I think it ends up being let's do it this way. Makefile for each in rule. How can I use makefile for each commands? Blah 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 blah. For each exe. Okay, so I think that idea that I was just looking at is still let's start with this. So we're going to do a for each, and the var we're going to use is going to be the sources, which is that I'm not sure that this is doing what I think it's doing. In fact, I'm almost positive. Okay. How to go down a rabbit hole. That's what I should label this video. So the target here is test, and for number in, so it's going to be for file undefined variable source files. Okay, so let me go back to where I was before. Let's get rid of everything else. Undefined variable source files while car. That was my half-baked nonsense that I didn't delete. I thought I did. Undefined variable source files. Make test. And it should be the pattern I want for this is wildcard source anything dot anything underscore test. For file name in blah blah blah. So what happens if I just echo the make? Well, it runs the command, it shows me nothing. That's why. It's tests also. There we go. And what I actually just want to do is run it. What was that before I messed it up? Oh, file name. Still needs to be file name. But does the file name, I think the file name, it has the bin on it. So there we go. Okay, so we have make, we don't have a clean, so rmrf bin. We can make tests, and we can make test. That is what we are after. Okay, so let's go back and fix this all up now. I'm not gonna go. Oops, what did I just do? I'm not gonna go too crazy here with trying to decide how I should organize my file. I'll come back to that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drop this right here. This video got long enough as it is, so it appears everything works. Okay, so in the end, it was ridiculously simple, and it was just a syntax problem more than, well, I mean, I guess it's a comprehension problem, not just a syntax problem. But I'm going to put this up here. Maybe I will do a little think this through right now. So, I always want to execute tests when I call it. So, phony rule it is. And this implicit rule, I don't know, I think I want the implicit rules coming before the explicit rules. Hold it. This is, I kind of am wording that wrong. What did I just do? Let's back this up here a little bit. So there's really only two parts to this. This is the implicit rule, right? And I want that implicit rule on top. Implicit rules first. This is an explicit rule to run, to build the tests. I want that here with the other explicit rules. This is a phony rule to run the tests, and I want that here. Make clean, make tests, make test, and that's it. Tree under bin, make all, for on the all, let's add make tests. I want to add tests, right? Make clean, make all. That was not what I wanted. So there is no longer a rule for that because we broke this up into a bunch of little tests in a makefile. So make all. There we go. That's what I wanted. Make clean, make all. And tree under bin. So we get the Space Captain default build, we get the debug build, we get the I might change this to dev because it's not just, it's got the debug symbols built in as basically, and this is the release build, and you have each of the individual tests built, and I can run all the tests, and they don't rebuild if they don't need to, because they're implicit rules, individual files. Works really nice. Actually, let's touch that, so test that. Let's touch source config C, right? And now make test. And let me, so clear, touch source config C, make test. That wasn't what I expected. I expected because touch test config. Okay, so maybe I missed it last time. It's right here. It did build test. Touch source config C. Make test. No, there's no GCC here anywhere. Oh, I don't know. Oh, let's test. So okay, so I think I kind of understand. I really would need a conditional because it takes in okay, it's taking in all of tests and source as dependencies, but there's no rule for the source dependencies. No implicit rule for source dependencies. Okay, so this is a kind of a weird little, neither of these paths is perfect all the way through. But this is going to work for the time being. I'll leave it this way. This video got way too long, and it essentially does what I want, right? Which is, if I do a make tests, I build all of my tests. If I touch one of those tests, so test, if I'm working on the test and I write test config, if I touch that one and I make tests again, it only built that one. Let's do it again and say make test. So actually run the test. It did only build the one. It did run all the tests. That almost works exactly right. What's missing is that if I change the source file, I should also cause it to build. That should also cause it to rebuild the test file, and we can prove that it doesn't because we can clear it. We can touch source config C, and then we can make test, and it did not do it. I can actually conceive of a few ways to fix this, kind of hackish-like. If, well, I want to do one more test before I lose track. So, if I touch it and then I make tests, which is just to build the files, nothing to do. Okay, but I can kind of sort of think of a hackish rule here, which is, I'm going to try it because it's easy and hackish. So if I vim makefile, and if I go look at this implicit rule, and I make another implicit rule, but it's for source.c and source.%.h, and the target is test percent. Oh, that didn't quite. I'd have to do a separate rule, right? So let's just do it for the C files for now. And what I want to do is just touch the target. So the idea being, if I run and there's an implicit rule that says, "Oh, the source file changed," well, let's touch the. So again, let's make tests. Let's just let it do its thing. Clear it, and now if I touch source config C and then make tests again, it did rebuild test. It did rebuild the test this time. So, I mean, that actually worked. And I could, of course, do another implicit rule that was the same for H files. And oops, make clean. So if I make tests, so all the files got built, clear. Make tests again, nothing to do. Touch source config H, make tests again, nothing to do. It's because there is no config, or there is no H file. So what I have to do is I have to, I'm getting there. What I have to do is, I already forgot how to do it. Makefile extension substitution. It's the variable. So it's the, let me see that again. It is the, dot. Okay, so the okay, so the files in is the last part, and that is that is the file coming in, and the doc into docx. So in out. So the in part So this is using pat substitution. Right, pat substitution. The variable is the last part. The in is the first part. So what we're getting in is some file that is going to be source unknown, I mean whatever, .h. And what we want on the outside is test whatever test.c. I think that is right. So we're only going to process H files when we do process header file. It's going to replace the .h with tst blah 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 test.c. Okay, so make clear. So we're going to make tests. We're going to make tests again. Nothing should happen. We're going to touch source config h. We're going to make tests again. Nothing to do still. I actually don't understand why that rule didn't trigger, right? Because if we look at tests, which is right here, it's all source files. What are source files? I guess that's, source files are only, now I know why, because it's only the C files. So makefile, wildcard, multiple directories. How do I, multiple file types? Do I just, I don't want to do that. Okay, so yeah, I can just chain them together. That's what I thought. So I would do wildcard source, any header files in that folder. And now if I repeat this little experiment and say make tests, damn it. So when I ran tests just now, I would have expected it to find, maybe I need to touch source config h again. I would have expected source.h make tests. So the header file in the source folder should have a target of the, but I'm going to have a problem about which one is running first here. Well, I'm still close, right? So you would have to have them both in one rule. and then do something conditional based on if it's okay. This video got really long, and it does what I needed to right now, so I am just going to remove that, and we're going to say that is the end of this. So make clean, get status, get add. What we're going to do is say update makefile to run tests. Get push GitHub main clear. So we got we can make stuff, and we can make tests, and we can run the tests. Okay, that's what I was after. I will see you all in the next video.